Okay, so I've been doing a lot of thinking recently. I've been pretty quiet about my own opinions, and I've been doing a lot of my own research as far as historical and political knowledge. And my point is with this video to be more informative than anything else. I'm not making this to create beef with anyone or piss anyone off. It's simply to be educational on what's going on with our country. Recently we've seen a lot of wild things going on the past year and a half that I just want to kind of go over a little bit. And I want to start with COVID-19. So that showed up about a year and a half ago from China, and what we saw with that was a huge economical downfall here in the United States. And in the beginning we didn't know what it was. We didn't know what was going to happen. We took precautions as we should have. Trump stopped travel to and from China, which I thought was a fantastic idea, because we don't want this thing getting into our country. We don't know what it is. And but I think around last September, after we made it through that first summer with COVID, I think everyone started to realize, you know, it wasn't this super dangerous virus that it was hyped up to be. You know, it was massively politicized, and one of the reasons I think it was to get Donald Trump out of office, which we saw that happened. We've got Joe Biden and Kamala Harris now. I kind of feel like we're back to where we started with Barack Obama. I'd say even worse now, because at this point we belong to China. They own us now, and I really think they were pissed off at everything Trump did, because Trump did everything for the American people. You know, he did what was best for you and I, whether you loved him or hated him. That's what he was doing. He was putting the American people first. And what that did was hurt China, because he was prying them off our backs, you know. And through Obama's administration, I think they kind of got their hands in a lot of things here in the U.S. And now we're back to where we started with Biden and Harris. And I think it's just going to get worse. And we've seen people like AOC and Ilhan Omar, you know, they're kind of stepping up to the plate, pushing this woke culture. And now it's kind of sad that I have to say this, but because like I'm a white guy, you know, I'm gonna come out not a racist, not a homophobe, not a xenophobe, like none of that. I'm a libertarian more than anything else. You know, I believe we should be able to do what we want as long as it doesn't harm others. You know, and that's what America was founded upon. It was founded upon freedom, and that's what our founding fathers set it up for, because they lived under the British Empire, and they knew what it was like to not have choice, and they gave us that, which I thought was amazing that we have that, but we're losing it. And that's the point of this video now, is that, you know, we're losing our freedoms. We've already seen freedom of speech attacked by big tech. The past president is now nowhere to be found on any social media platforms, which is crazy. And you know, we're heading into this socialist regime, and they're using the woke culture to distract you from what they're actually doing behind the scenes. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, AOC, Ilhan Omar, they're all puppets, bought and paid for. There's people who have a lot of money who are running the show behind the scenes, and they're distracting the people with all this woke madness. And personally, I think if you buy into it, you know, I think it's a petty thing. I don't think it needs to be talked about, because we have equality here in the United States. You know, if systemic racism was really a problem, Barack Obama never would have made it into government, let alone become the president of the United States. And you know, that brings us to where we are now. We're losing our freedoms. We've already lost freedom of speech. It's gone. I don't even know if this video's gonna stay up that long. It's probably gonna get pulled down or flagged as false information. I can guarantee that at this point. But I want to talk about the big problem with socialism. And I'm going to use 3 prime examples from just the past century, which really isn't that long ago. Okay? So first of all, I'm gonna bring up Hitler. Okay, we all know who Hitler is, what he did. You know, that monstrosity is responsible for 14 million deaths. Okay, wrap your head around that number. And let's take it a step further. We've got Joseph Stalin, and he was really the first to implement socialism in a large scale. And he's responsible for 26 million deaths, almost double what Hitler did. And then the worst of them all, in my opinion, is Mao Zedong. And he was able to drag out socialism for decades. And he's responsible for anywhere between 70 and 120 million deaths. They lost count. Wrap your head around that number. That's damn near half the United States. And this is how socialism ends. It's the few in charge run the show, and the people pay the price in blood. Okay? And in communist China, we were able to see prime examples of that. Okay, Mao starved millions, tortured millions to death, public executions. We saw tons of suicides. And that kind of gives you a glimpse of what it's like for just the little guy to live in a socialist society. It's miserable. Because the problem with socialism, and they'll always say, it's perfect in theory, it just hasn't been implemented correctly yet. And the problem with that is it can't with human beings, because as human beings we have a natural tendency to grow and thrive and gain success in all aspects. In socialism, you don't get to choose your career. I mean, it's a death proposal for entrepreneurism. You know, you have no free choice. You get scraps. You know, you work hard while these people don't do anything. And that is where we're heading, and it's terrifying to me. You know, and I haven't been able to see America in its full glory. You know, I was just a kid when Obama was elected, but it's been this rotating wheel that's been going further and further down this road to socialism. And if we don't stop this, if we can't push back and kind of restore the Constitution of the United States, if we can't restore our freedom as people and are being held as a slave society by these sociopaths, America is just going to become another addition to the 150 million plus corpses that have been a result of socialism.